Well, welcome back. Well, for some time, investors believed that newly sworn-in Fed Chairman Kevin Warsh would cut interest rates. But that sentiment is changing. And now, as inflation data remains above the Fed's 2% target, talk of interest rate hikes are now on the table. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon telling me he thinks a rate hike could happen this year, as did Jeffrey Gundlach recently on this program. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is the president of the San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank, Mary Daly. Madam President, great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and welcome to California.
Thank you so much. So what's your thinking on this? All of a sudden, sentiment has changed, right? From a rate cut coming to maybe a rate hike. How do you see things?
You know, I see that there's no urgency to make an adjustment. Policy is in a good place. We can respond as we learn more about the economy, but there's a lot of uncertainty. When does the conflict in Iran end? When do oil prices come back? Futures markets still think they're coming back, and that's a good thing.
I mean, when you look at where we are with regard to inflation, do you find that it could, in fact, reverse quickly, like the president is expecting on the other side of this conflict?
You know, it's really early to tell, and I think that's the important thing. We need to collect more information. But if you look at futures markets on oil prices, they do expect oil prices to come back down when the conflict ends. And so, and our businesses are telling us that they feel comfortable with where we are right now, that it's all about when the conflict ends.
Yeah, I mean, when we spoke with Secretary Bessent, he said, look, you look at the futures market 3 months out, 6 months out, 9 months out, it's all expectations of lower.
Exactly. And that's what businesses are counting on. And, you know, Americans want lower prices at the pump and lower food prices, but they also recognize it depends on the war in Iran.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you've got a new chairman of the Federal Reserve. How does that change things? Tell me about Kevin Warsh and your expectations.
Well, I expect him to be he'll be the 5th chair I've worked with, and all chairs come in. They have the same commitment to the American people, to our congressionally mandated goals. He's talked about wanting to have family fights. I think that's just good public service, having debates, vigorous debates, to do our very best collectively for the American people.
Yeah, you're right. He said family fights, and I thought that was apropos. Really,
it was
apropos,
good, right?
You've got lots of different sentiments on the Fed board. How do you think the board members, the governors around the table are going to view Kevin Warsh?
I think all of us are going to come into the same thing, close the doors to the FOMC, meet, and have the vigorous debates we always have, and come away with, you know, the idea of what our policy rate should be now, and also keep our eyes open on the future. And I think that sentiment never changes. You know, once you walk through the door, your only focus is the American people and our congressionally mandated goals. That's all we talk about.
How would you assess the economy today? Give us your expectations and assessment of the macro story today.
You know, I feel very much like my contacts feel, CEOs, businesses I talk to, cautiously optimistic. You see the spirit out there of spending, and American people, businesses are out there. They're interested in using technology to do better and do things more effectively. They're also hiring when they need workers, and they have plenty of workers to hire from, and that's a good thing. It's a little harder for Americans to get jobs quickly, but they're still getting jobs. Right now, it's all about restoring price stability and doing that without taking the momentum from the economy or the labor market.
Well, you're in this region here in San Francisco and beyond that is in the middle of all of the excitement about spending on AI and the data center build out. How does that change your outlook, or how does that impact how you see things?
Well, you know, I have the 9 western states, so I fly west of the Rockies, and I can feel the spirit. People are investing, and it's not just on the coastal states. It's not simply in California. It's in Idaho, Nevada, Arizona. It's just people are out there. They're spending. Utah, buildings everywhere. There's a crane on every block. And I think that's the spirit of what's going to happen for the next 5 years. They're not thinking we're in a downturn. They're thinking we're in an upswing.
No, but I mean, look at these numbers. They're mind-boggling when you consider the fact that the hyperscalers alone are going to spend $750 billion on this build-out. Does it feel bubble-like to you?
You know, it's only a bubble, and this is the thing that people miss. It's only a bubble if AI doesn't deliver. But we have a lot of promise in AI, and there's a lot of growth. So right now it's about seeing where it can be used to transform the economy. Businesses of all types, not just technology businesses, have to use it. And I see them trying right now. And then we have to wait for a couple of years to see what it really delivers. But they're enthusiastic, and I see their optimism, and I see their their investment. They're actually making things in industries, manufacturing, et cetera, better. Just toured a robotics company that does packaging. Really, really interesting how they're transforming what's possible in warehousing and distribution, and importantly, saving back-breaking work that Americans don't want to do so that Americans have more time to do the things that are important.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, when you look at where we are, you know, CEOs and managers of businesses have called this a new revolution, right? An industrial revolution. Is that the way you see it? Is that as game-changing as the way you see it?
It certainly has the ingredients, but, you know, I don't like to be an enthusiast without evidence, and so let's look for the evidence. But it certainly feels like this is transformative, and now we just have to see if those feelings pay off into real evidence.
Now, a moment ago, you said, look, policy is good. You're not in any rush to change things. I mean, the inflation has gotten away from your target of 2%.
It's been away from our target, exactly.
For a while. What would be the level that you would say, okay, policy needs to change?
You know, I think it's more less about the level and more about the direction of change. If we think that inflation is going to consistently go up, then we definitely have to get ahead of that. But if we think that it's going to move through, it's related to oil prices, and oil prices are going to come down as the futures market suggests, well, then you have to do less. So it really is about looking not at today or backward-looking information, but looking tomorrow and what's going to happen going forward. So for that, we need to know when the war ends and how oil prices behave afterwards.
Yeah, because oil has been really filtering through the economy. We saw that in the numbers. And so you said you would want to see more information. What information specifically do you want to see?
Well, there's two pieces of information that are really going to be important. Is how long does the conflict last and oil prices remain elevated? Right now, as you've mentioned, is futures prices look good on oil, but at some point, if those start to drift up because the conflict is persistent, well, then that would change my mind on the outlook for the economy in terms of inflation. The other thing I'd want to see is how much does it spread to other things? Right now, we're not seeing it spreading into service industries. We're not seeing a lot of pass-through of costs onto consumers, except in specific industries where fuel is a big component of the overall business. So if it starts to spread, well, then that would be something to watch.
Have you had a meeting with Kevin Warsh yet, or is this upcoming meeting going to be the first time?
Well, I think we're all collectively meeting with Chair Warsh in just a few weeks, so we're looking forward to that.
That is great. President Daly, always a pleasure to see you.
Complete pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mary Daly here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.